Hi, I'm Ron Bateman, the Sheriff of Anne Arundel County. Welcome to your Anne Arundel's Most Wanted program, a program where we showcase wanted criminals, highlight open cases, and look to you for tips. You, concerned citizens, that share my same goal, and that's keeping our community safe. You'd be proud to know that your calls have allowed us to put handcuffs on thousands of criminals. So sit back, set your DVR, or grab a pen and paper, and help do your part in catching criminals. You're watching Anne Arundel's Most Wanted. And now everyone recognizes our next guest, Mark Lemansky from the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
We have two for you today, Sheriff. Our first subject is Thomas Cody. On May 26, 2018 at 11 o'clock p.m., officers received a call for a citizen robbery in the 7500 block of Old Telegraph Road in Hanover. The adult male victim reported he was involved in an altercation with a male suspect who displayed a handgun and demanded money. The victim complied and the suspect fled in a red Ford Ranger pickup truck. The investigation into this incident resulted in the identification of Thomas Cody as the person who committed the robbery. He is a 5'7" tall white male with blonde hair and blue eyes. He is 23 years old and currently resides at 12003 Fox Hill Lane in Bowie, Maryland. He is currently wanted for robbery, first-degree assault, and reckless endangerment. Our next subject is Timothy Quan Kauser. On Friday, May 18, 2018, officers responded for the report of multiple burglaries at several businesses in an industrial park located at 780 Elkridge Landing Road. Over $3,300 in cash and property was taken by the suspect. The investigation into these incidents, to include the review of video footage and analysis of other physical evidence, resulted in the identification of Timothy Kauser as the person who committed these offenses. Detectives applied for and received an arrest warrant for Kauser, charging him with felony second-degree burglary, felony theft between $1,500 and $25,000, and fourth-degree burglary. Today we are looking for Timothy Kauser, who is a 6-foot-tall African-American male with a thin build. He is 31 years old and currently resides at 1 Henley Court in Gwynn Oak, Maryland.
Good deal. Folks, you know the drill. You know the whereabouts of any of those individuals. Do not approach them. Instead, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 and 911 24 hours a day. Keep those calls coming in because your tips have been responsible for thousands of arrests, which has allowed us to have the largest reduction in arrest warrants in over 40 years because of caring people like you for your community. Mark, thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Now, of course, everyone recognizes our next guest. It's Sergeant Amy Meaghan from the Annapolis Police Department. And you'll see that Amy has a different uniform on today, a little bit of pink badge in the front, and turn around, let everybody see what we have on the back. Annapolis Police with the symbols for breast cancer awareness. Why don't you talk about why you had that on?
Yeah, well, we have one of our officers who was recently diagnosed with breast cancer. She actually had surgery last month, and so this month we decided to support her and her husband, who also works with us, by wearing these t-shirts. So we're allowed to wear these t-shirts for 2 days at the end of May, and our officers are very happy to have a different uniform, but also to be able to support our fellow officer.
It's part of the law enforcement family.
That's right.
I know I got my shirt, was delivered to my office today, and several of my deputies are wearing them today. And you'll actually see those on Facebook at our sheriff's page. So I'm sure you got the same thing going on. So how's she doing?
She's doing great. She's already back on light duty. She's going to start another phase of her treatment soon. But you know, she and her husband have been getting a lot of support from the department and from her family. They've got 2 little kids, so we're hoping that it's all good news from here on out.
Great. And of course, the thoughts and prayers from the sheriff's office is definitely with her and her family.
Well, we appreciate your support.
Absolutely. So who'd you bring for us, Amy?
I've got 3 today. The first one is Carlos Javier Lemus Maia. His date of birth is January 12th of 1994. He's a Hispanic male, 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 145 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 6 Edelmar Drive in Annapolis, and he has a warrant for first and second degree assault and reckless endangerment. This warrant stems from an incident on February 12th of 2017. At about 3:30 in the morning, Annapolis officers responded to a call on Greenbrier Lane, a report of a suspect with a weapon. Officers located the victim, and the victim reported that he was in a physical altercation with his friend, later identified as Carlos Lemus Mejia. Lemus Mejia struck the victim on his head with a bottle. The victim had injuries to his head and hand. The Annapolis Fire Department was called to treat the victim, and the officer was able to locate Lemus Mejia and place him under arrest for this assault. He later failed to appear in court. Second subject is Thomas Joseph Drury. He also goes by Joe. His date of birth is December 6th of 1959. He's a Caucasian male, 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing 180 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 29 West Washington Street in Annapolis, and he has a bench warrant for an original charge of an open container of an alcoholic beverage. This warrant stems from an incident on January 11th of 2018 at 10 a.m. An Annapolis police officer responded to West Street for a liquor law violation. The officer came in contact with Thomas Drury, who had an open container of an alcoholic beverage. Drury was in possession of a 24-ounce Milwaukee Best beer can in a brown paper bag. The officer arrested Drury for having an open container, and on April 9th of 2018, Drury failed to come to court on this charge, and this warrant was issued. And our third subject is Douglas MacArthur Brooks, also goes by Dougie. His date of birth is June 8th of 1994. He's an African-American male, 6 feet tall, weighing 154 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He has the tattoos R.I.P., R-O-M-E on the back of his hands, and his last known address is 1145 Madison Street, apartment S2 in Annapolis. He has a warrant for first and second degree assault and reckless endangerment. This warrant stems from an incident on March 24th of 2018. At 10 p.m., Annapolis police officers responded to Madison Street for a report of an assault in progress. Upon arrival, officers spoke with the adult female victim, who stated she was assaulted by her boyfriend, Douglas Brooks. The victim reported she and Brooks were arguing the night before when Brooks threw a bottle at her, which broke and cut her right leg just above the knee. The following night, right before the police were called, the victim tried to get her keys from Brooks. He started to grab her, so she pulled out mace and sprayed Brooks. Brooks ran out of the home, and officers were unable to locate him, so they obtained this warrant for the assault.
Folks, you know the drill. You know the whereabouts of any of those people. Call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490, or 911, 24 hours a day. Amy, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff.
And everyone recognizes our next guest, Trooper First Class Katie Follen from the Maryland State Police, Glen Burnie Barrack. Welcome back to the show, Katie.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
For the Glen Burnie Barrack, we have 3 subjects. Our first subject is Billy Dean Locklear Jr., a white male, date of birth of September 5th, 1966, 5 feet 9 inches, 150 pounds, an address of 688 West Shore Road, Pasadena, Maryland. On February 10th, 2018, an MSP Annapolis trooper conducted a traffic stop on a dark blue Dodge Grand Caravan for traveling 81 miles per hour in the posted 50 mile per hour zone on Ritchie Highway near Campus Drive. The vehicle was operated by Locklear, and upon contact with him, the trooper smelled the strong odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from his breath. The trooper also observed in plain view a bottle of mouthwash and a toothbrush. Locklear admitted to consuming bourbon whiskey prior to driving and agreed to submit to a series of standardized field sobriety tests. He demonstrated lack of coordination, poor balance, and submitted to a PBT with the result of .20 BRAC. Locklear was arrested for DUI and was to appear in Annapolis District Court on April 11th, 2018, but failed to do so. A bench warrant was issued for his arrest and is still active. Our second subject is Jawan Hill, a black male, date of birth of August 20th, 1980, 6 feet 2 inches, 230 pounds, with an address of 801 Rolling View Drive, Annapolis, Maryland, and also 8057 Greenleaf Terrace, Glen Burnie, Maryland. On November 3rd, 2017, an MSP Glen Burnie trooper conducted a traffic stop on a gray Acura for a suspended vehicle registration on Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie. Hill was the operator of the vehicle, and MVA records revealed the license and vehicle was suspended and uninsured. Hill was released from the scene on payable and must appear citations. He failed to appear for his court date in Glen Burnie District Court on March 28, 2018. Hill's driver's license is still suspended due to the failure to appear. A bench warrant was issued for his arrest and is still active. Our third subject is Crystal Nicole McLaughlin, a white female, date of birth of May 4, 1982, and an address of 214 Magathy Road, Pasadena, Maryland, and also 118 Wilson Boulevard in Glen Burnie, Maryland. On June 1, 2017, an MSP Glen Burnie trooper conducted a traffic stop on Aquahart Road at Kelso Drive on a maroon Jeep. McLaughlin was stopped by the trooper for not wearing her seatbelt. MVA records revealed McLaughlin's Maryland driver's license was suspended, and she was released from the scene on payable and must appear citations. She failed to appear for a court date that was initially set on October 1, 2017 in Glen Burnie District Court. She was then issued another court date set for March 28, 2018, which she also failed to appear for. A bench warrant was issued and is still active. McLaughlin's license is also still suspended.
Folks, you know the whereabouts of any of those individuals. Do not approach them. Call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911 24 hours a day. You know, Katie, you had 2 of your 3 people had failure to appear warrants out on them. And you've heard me talk about this before. One of my latest ideas is going to be implemented this July in district court. It's going to be the automated court date notification program where people are actually going to receive text on their phone about their court date, time, and location. Hopefully, that will have some kind of impact on the failure to appear warrants.
Very much so. It sounds like a much better option.
We'll see if it works. Thank you very much. Now, before we talk about those subjects wanted by the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office, I want to tell our viewers why I do not have my uniform on this month. It's because of a very special opportunity that I had in the last couple days. On May the 23rd, I had the opportunity to be with the governor of the state of Maryland, Mr. Larry Hogan. That's why I got the Maryland tie on. I was with Mr. Hogan as we were watching the Blue Angels fly on a beautiful piece of property on the Severn River, and what a great display the planes put on for us that day. And then also on May the 25th, I was with the President of the United States and had a personal photo op with him, during which time I thanked him for standing by the men and women in blue in this country, which he said it was his pleasure, though he's taken some heat from it. He said it was worth it, and I agree with him. Now, for those subjects wanted by the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office, first subject is going to be Rashad Snowden. Now, this subject was placed on probation twice after being found guilty of possession with the intent to distribute narcotics and for an assault charge. Instead of following the rules, Rashad reoffended and was arrested and charged with another assault. Additionally, he has not reported to his probation officer since 2017 and currently has 5 outstanding warrants. We have been advised by his probation officer that he moved from his address in Annapolis without permission. Multiple attempts have been made to locate and arrest Snowden. So today, we are looking for Rashad Shaheed Snowden. He's a 30-year-old black male with a 5 foot 6 inches tall, weighs 145 pounds. He's heavily tattooed on his face and neck, and his date of birth is September 6, 1987. Last known address is 1213 Marta Lane in Annapolis. He is known to frequent the Robinwood neighborhood in Annapolis. The next subject, that is Kevin Michael Gary. Gary has 3 warrants. The first warrant is for possession of CDS, not marijuana, after police found pills and other narcotics in his vehicle. The second warrant is for failing to appear in court for a child support case. Queen Anne's County Sheriff's Office has verified Kevin Gary is wanted by them for child support after owing $28,000 in child support. Our subject then failed to appear for a traffic case in April. Prior to having these warrants, Gary was evicted from his last known address by the Sheriff's Office, and his whereabouts are unknown at this time. So today, we are looking for Kevin Michael Gary, who's a 50-year-old white male. Date of birth of July 1st, 1967. He's 6 feet tall, weighs 160 pounds. Last known address is 827 Mayo Road in lovely Edgewater. And our last subject is going to be Clarence Howard Simpson. The Simpsons currently has 2 warrants for violation of probation for armed robbery. In 2011, our subject was before the court for his armed robbery charge when he was sentenced and placed on 5 years probation. He has had his probation extended multiple times for other violations. Reports indicate he has failed to attempt treatment as required, failed to abstain from alcohol and illegal substances, and abusive use of prescription drugs. Multiple attempts have been made to locate Simpson. So today, we are looking for Clarence Howard Simpson. He's a 50-year-old white male who's 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 215 pounds. Date of birth, January 21st, 1968. His last known address is 1065 Dorsey Road in Hanover. Now, as I close, I want to thank a few people that allow this show to happen every single month. First, our County Executive, Mr. Steve Shue, the man behind that camera, Mr. Dale Boyer. From my office, Lieutenant Brian Andre, Chiefs of Police Altamari and Baker from Annapolis City, and the Anne Arundel County Police, and Superintendent Bill Palazzi. Remember, folks, I'm your Sheriff, Ron Bateman. Let's keep Anne Arundel County safe. We'll see you next time on Anne Arundel's Most Wanted.